Good morning. Dance like a winner man this morning. Yeah. It's 28 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Thursday, the 13th day of June. How do you do this morning? Good morning, Mildred Smith. Good morning, Mary Ebanks. Yulin Alexander is in the building. Veronica Sandy is there. Good morning. How do you do? Reaching out and say good morning to Dr. Francis Alexis. How you doing, bro? You all right? Keep on your great works, eh? Nice. This is Yulin's favorite song. Yeah, this is Yulin's favorite song. Trust me, Yulin loves this song. Yulin? This one is for you, Bossa Dance. Dance like a winner woman this morning. You've won. You're home. Sharon Bartholomew, good morning to you. Monica Meros Williams, good morning.
For your grace on my life.
She says, good morning, Mama Can. Daddy Godwin, good morning. Catherine Phillip, good morning to you. Yoland Swan, good morning. Reaching out and saying good morning to the folks inside of Paraclete in St. Andrew. Good morning. Sylvia and Hicklin Nayak. Michael P. and family. Vernis, good morning. Delma, good morning. Lorena Waldron, good morning. Ashley Cummings, good morning. Brady, what's up? Nice. Yulin dancing in she bed. Oh my goodness. Sislin Blackman, good morning. Michelle Bernard, good morning. Jude Bernard, good morning. Good morning to the folks inside of Grandance, Frequenty, and surrounding areas. JJ, good morning to you. Daphne, Sylvie, howdy do? We'll be fine, yeah? Nice. How's Nai? It's 25 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Good morning to the busman of the nation. What up? Good morning to you. Driver and passengers on HD 390 4842 HAP 925. Good morning. Traveling through Pedmota HAN 55. Good morning. Jillian McIntyre. Good morning. Today's a good day to have a good day, eh? What you say about that, Debbie? Debbie and family. Ariel, Kitty Cat, and Alwyn. Judy Plenty, good morning. I know that name. Judy Plenty. I know that name. Yeah. Someone said to me this morning they missed the program yesterday, so they want me to do over the word of the day and the thought of the day. Okay. I'll just go back in the archives. Good morning to the folks inside of Latant, Bay Road, Rookie, Barbara. Good morning to you and the family. Bellevue and Apretut, Central, Providence, Dudma. Eggies, what's up, bro? UM Cruz. Curtis Peck, Philip and family, good morning. Chris, what's up, guy? Abigail, what's up? You good? Marf and everybody. Today is a good day to have a good day. Hey, Rhino, go get Farmer of the Year, boy. Yeah, you're working hard for that. Good morning to your extended family. Mr. Michael Soup Pierre, good morning. Dada and I, good morning. Alright, let's get with the word or else I'll get stuck here. The word for the day is an adjective. That word is tractable. Tractable. Tractable is used to describe someone or something that is easily led, managed, taught, or controlled. Tractable. Here's how we can use the word. This new approach should make the problem more tractable. We can also say the horse's tractable temperament made her especially popular with new riders. Hey people, West Indies win last night, but if West Indies could defend 149 against New Zealand, we win the World Cup. Yeah. Within my confines, I was able to listen via the TV. And I was so annoyed with Nicholas Pooran. Well, I don't know what's going on with Johnson Charles. Nicholas Pooran, boy. You nearly sell the match, boy. What's wrong with he? At one point, I stopped listening. But then when I came back and I heard New Zealand were 58-4, I said, okay, we get them. And then I further heard that West Indies made 149. I say, okay. In 10 overs, 58-4, we win. Yeah. And Gudakesh Moti and Akil Hussein and the partner. Hey, there's a guy in Grenada that looks exactly like Romario Shepherd. He works with the paper company Orlando. Good morning. Yeah, he looks exactly like Romario, boy. Romario and them, they get on, boy. Hey, West Indies all the way. All the haters, stand it. Folks, it's 21 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Yeah, so you heard the word of the day, right? Tractable. And the thought of the day, you never know where life is going to take you. So everything you do, just take it one day at a time, and it always leads you to the right place. Pastor Fletcher always said at one time, if it's not good, then it's not the end, because in the end it will be good. Morning, Bishop George Fletcher and family. Sister Fletcher, good morning. Nicole and Jason and everybody. Neilon and Nixon. Caleb and everybody, good morning. Nice. What's buzzing this morning? I'm so excited this morning for more reasons than one. Yeah, for more reasons than one. You know, West Indies win, and then, you know, good things are about to happen, and you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, buzzing this morning, more than 8,000 feet of road completed in St. John. That is progress. That is transformation. Nice. In the region, we hear that Guyana and Venezuela, they met with the ICJ president on border case to submit second round of written pleadings. Still fighting over the Essequibo region. Internationally, European Union announces higher tariffs of up to 38% on Chinese electric vehicles. Well, I'm not certain yet if New Zealand is really out, but it says that they're in danger of an early exit at the hands of Windies. So if that was the case, then maybe after the results last night, maybe they could be out. They were whooped by Afghanistan. So yeah, maybe they're out. Nonetheless, you'll have a more comprehensive report on that in the midday edition of the news, right? Good morning, Dancer Boy. Good morning, Bobby Hood. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Josephine Maguire, good morning to you. How are you doing? Hope you're doing fine. Eddie Frederick, Good morning. Yeah. Andre Jerome, my brother from another mother. Good morning to you and mommy and the entire family. Ashley Hines. Tony Tonton Julian. Good morning. Sherlyn, good morning. Get back the puppies, boy. See how powerful the GBN is? We made one announcement of the lost puppies yesterday, and within the space of 10 minutes, we got the phone call of the puppies were returned. Telling all you want the business to succeed, advertise with the GBN. Don't get distracted, you understand? With the whistleblowers. This is where the stuff happens. This is where it's at. Godfrey Augustine, good morning to you. Yeah, the entire management and staff of the GBN. My folks at Nawasa, good morning. Wendell and the team, good morning. Jamila, Secure, good morning. Michelle Forsyth, how you do? What's up, girl? You in Grenada? Or you in Vincy? Tell me. Good morning, Small Axe and the family. Sally Ann, good morning to you. How do you do? Oswin Lewis, good morning to all the folks in the diaspora. Good morning to you. Folks, it's 17 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. We take that break. Before I do that, let me see what's happening on the WhatsApp. All right, Mr. Innocent, that thought was not yesterday. It was day before. Oh, my goodness. Thanks for telling me. Yeah. Nice. Good. I have some audience members that are so attentive, man. Folks, we're going to take that break. We've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the Weather. Those of you who are on the television platform, we've got last evening's television news. Stick and stay with us. The conversation is next after 7.
Struggling to secure a business loan because of limited credit history or loan security? The Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee has the security you need. The Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee, ECPCGC, is a bridge to accessible financing for micro, small, and medium enterprises in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Backed by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank with funding from the World Bank. We work with financial institutions to help MSMEs get credit to stay in business, grow their business, or invest in green technologies. Our process is simple. Apply for a loan at your local lender. If collateral is in question, our partial credit guarantee is the answer. Once you meet the criteria, we pledge up to 80% of the collateral you're short of. Reach out to an ECPCGC participating lender or visit www.ecpcgc.org for more information. The Eastern Caribbean Partial Credit Guarantee for MSMEs. Your business, your growth, our guarantee.
Thanks for joining us. Government is aiming to introduce legislation by the end of the year for a transferable pension scheme benefiting public servants who are on contract. The rest of the details in this report.
In the last quarter of this year, government plans to bring legislation to Parliament to introduce a transferable pension scheme for individuals who are contracted to work as public servants or in public service positions. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell gave an October timeline for bringing the pension scheme before Parliament.
There are approximately 3,000, give or take, contract workers right now employed by the government of Grenada. That doesn't include the Imani workers who do not have any pension from the government of Grenada. And if their status remains like that, they will retire with no pension. We have committed that come the 1st of October, we will be going to Parliament to enact legislation to create a new pension scheme for these workers to ensure that they have the opportunity to have a pension.
He was speaking at a town hall meeting in St. Patrick on June 10th, which was part of the second anniversary celebrations of the National Democratic Congress, or the NDC's victory in the 2022 general elections. The Prime Minister outlined that the proposed pension scheme for contracted public servants will involve contributions from the individuals and the government.
So we have to create a system that allows them to get a pension. That system is going to be a pension where they contribute and the government contributes. And we are saying anyone who is hired by the government thereafter has to come on to the pension system where they contribute, the government contribute, and when you retire, you can have your pension.
This scheme will allow individuals to carry their pension benefits when transitioning from government employment to the private sector or upon leaving government service altogether. The framework for this pension policy has received approval from the Cabinet.
The consultant has done extensive work. We have submitted this to the Attorney General's chambers. We are waiting on the draftsmen and women there to provide the draft legislation to us. We have allocated the sum to pay between October and December the first set of contributions from the government for these workers once they come on to this pension.
Presently, only established public servants who have served the state for 27 years are entitled to government pensions within the public service. The Prime Minister emphasized that the new pension scheme aims to address this disparity and provide financial security for all contracted public servants. Government will continue to host a series of town hall meetings across the country as part of its anniversary celebrations. Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Employees at all 18 Sandals and Beaches resorts, including the one here in Grenada, are benefiting from the resort's time away from work policy. More in this Nisha Peters report.
Setting a new standard in the hospitality industry, team members across the Sandals and Beaches resorts will now have access to birthday and paternity leave entitlements. Dillian Forrester, manager of public relations at Sandals and Beaches Resort, said the initiative is a welcomed one, which recognizes the importance of the team members' experience.
Our update to our time away from work policy is very exciting, with the addition of paternity leave and a paid birthday leave. So it's just one of many initiatives that have developed throughout the years, and this one is in fact long overdue, and we're very excited that it's actually taking place right now. It's just another way to motivate the team and keep us all happy. It's a moment of celebration at the announcement.
Forrester said the initiative is expected to boost staff productivity.
It definitely enhances the team experience. If you feel better about yourself coming to work, if you feel joyous and motivated, that's going to translate to smiles at service. That's going to translate to actively listening to guest requests and fulfilling those requests because you're enthusiastic, because you have a positive outlook. And, it's shown in studies academically, and we see it here just every day. If the employee is happy, the team member is happy, our guests can be happy as well.
Also, male team members who become fathers of newborn children and are full-time employees who have been with the company for at least 1 year will be entitled to 1 week of paid paternity leave. The announcement of time away from work policy and paternity leave was made by the company's executive chairman, Adam Stewart, at a recent employees' town hall meeting. The birthday and paternity leave incentives are paid time off initiatives that include full base pay and gratuity for all eligible team members across the company's 18 resorts. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Other news, the government of Grenada has appointed Damian Dolland as the lead consultant to the new hospital project management team. Nisha Paul reports.
Dolland, who is the founder of the USA-based The Darsami Group and co-founder of Trocar Pharma Inc., is a nephew of businessman Hugh Dolland and the cousin of Randall Dolland. current chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority. The other members of the management team for the project are Andrea Sembernard, Richard Duncan, the permanent and deputy permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Finance, permanent secretary in the Ministry for Health, and with support from the Tony Blair Institute, owned and managed by Tony Blair, the former UK Prime Minister. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell made the announcement on Monday during a town hall meeting in St. Patrick.
And they do consultancies with governments around the world to help them deliver on the things they have committed to the citizens. This group has been meeting every week for the last several months to advance the project.
In June last year, the government acquired approximately 84 acres of land along the Westerhall stretch to build a modern state-of-the-art teaching hospital.
The site is located between the boundaries of St. George's and St. David, in the area of Calvini Westall and what is called the Calvini or Westall stretch. If you're coming to St. Andrews, it's on the left. If you go into St. George's, it's on the right. And it's located in the area known as where CARDI, the Caribbean Agriculture Research and Development Institute, has a site. It's approximately 84 acres of land.
The administration has been engaged in in-depth planning to make the new hospital project a reality, including sourcing an international partner to help run the facility.
It will require deep planning, a lot of research. You have to find the financing, and I want to make this point. We have to get an international partner to help us operate the hospital, because we want this to be the centerpiece of the health village. And therefore, we need to make sure that the new hospital will be run and managed at an international level that is befitting of Grenada, the service Grenadians deserve, and the foreigners and visitors who will come to Grenada.
According to the Prime Minister, the international partner will also be required to work with the government to fix existing challenges with the current hospital and in the medical system. He also spoke of plans to have controlled development around the new hospital facility.
We need 84 acres of land to build the hospital, but we are building more than a hospital. We are creating a medical or health village, and we need to ensure that we can control the development around the hospital and that we can have other economic activities around the hospital to support the hospital. And that is why we've acquired the entire 84 acres of land, because we need to be able to control the development of the site.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, GBN News.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell has given an update on Project 500, detailing the committee's progress and plans for constructing affordable homes. Speaking at a recent town hall meeting, the Prime Minister outlined the steps being taken to fulfill the NDC administration's campaign promise. More in this report.
Project 500 is well on the way. That's according to Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell as he updated the public on the present stance of the project. The PM, who was speaking at a recent town hall meeting on Tuesday, announced that a committee has been established through the Grenada Housing Authority to identify suitable lands, develop designs, and engage contractors for the project. Mitchell highlighted government-owned lands in St. Andrew as a potential site for the construction of these homes. He explains that the plan involves bringing in pre-constructed houses and installing them on designated plots of land.
So what we are hoping to do with these contractors is to use technology, modern technology, that can allow us to do prefab houses. That is, houses that are actually built or manufactured as much as possible in factories. And then what you're doing is you are installing the homes. So we would build the foundations, but you are literally installing the homes, installing the plumbing, installing the electricity and the other amenities, where you can then do a lot of houses quickly and hopefully cheaply.
The homes can be constructed both on government and privately owned lands once owners are interested. The 6 contractors will be given 6 plots of land to demonstrate their capabilities in constructing the homes, said the PM.
So what we're hoping to do here is to build 17 model homes so that the public can see what the homes are like. And why are we going to build 17 model homes? We are going to do so because we have contractors who are all bidding to build these houses. But before we give them the contract, we need them to prove that they can build the homes. We need them to prove they can build it the way they say they can build it. We need them to prove it, to build it at the price they say they can build it, and at the time they say they can deliver it. And we need to build homes that can sustain, endure, and resist things like the hurricanes, resist things like termites, etc., etc.
The Prime Minister said more details about the project will be disclosed later this month.
We expect the team from the Housing Department to launch the PR around this by the end of June. So although I'm to some extent stealing the thunder a little, but as you appreciate, I say to them, when I come to the people and they ask, I'm supposed to be able to respond and say what's happening. I can't tell you I'm waiting on the Housing Authority. And if we're able to do that, maybe we can get some of the landlords to reduce their rent a little, because there would be less demand for exorbitant rent.
During its election campaign, the NDC administration promised the public 500 modern affordable homes under this project, a promise the Prime Minister said he intends to keep. Rena P. Thomas, GBN News.
Rahim Kelshal trial concluded on Wednesday with a 12-member jury finding him not guilty of murder in connection with the 2018 shooting death of Garfield Matthew, also known as Cut Up. Details in this Nisha Paul report.
Rahim Kelshal, represented by attorney Jerry Edwin, stood nervously in the prisoner's dock as the verdict was read out to him just after 4 p.m.
Even as we feel a sense of relief in the verdict that we obtained for our client, I just want to acknowledge that Garfield Matthew has a sister, a mother, a father, who are feeling, I'm sure, a significant degree of pain, even while Rahim Kelshal's family, his sister, his mother, are happy that he has been found not guilty. So there is pain all around in these kinds of cases. So we should not take this in any way as a victory for anyone.
The matter was prosecuted by Senior Crown Counsel Chrisanne Greenwich, who failed to prove Kelshal's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt during the trial.
Murder has two species in Grenada: non-capital murder and capital murder. Capital murder is a charge where there are certain other felony offenses that is attached to the killing of someone. In this case, the Crown presented evidence that Mr. Kelshal committed a robbery, and while fleeing from that robbery, he then shot Garfield Matthew, alias Cut Up.
Despite his acquittal on the murder charge, Kelshal, who has also been committed to stand trial for robbery with violence, has been remanded into custody pending the scheduling of a date for the start of that trial.
There is another indictment. Mr. Kelshal is also charged for robbery with violence in the case of the robbery which occurred in this case under the same circumstances, but they could not be tried together. Our criminal procedure code does not allow that. Once it's murder, capital or non-capital, that trial has to exist by itself. We're confident, let me say, that should the robbery with violence charge be brought before another jury, we're confident that they will look at the evidence as well and determine that Rahim Kelshal is not guilty.
In the meantime, Edwin announced plans to apply for bail for his client, who has been on remand at the Richmond Hill prison since his arrest in 2018.
We will make certain applications to the court, and we are confident that in the circumstances of this acquittal by Mr. Kelshal, that the liberty of Mr. Kelshal will be secured in the next few days.
If found guilty of robbery with violence, Kelshal, who was 24 years old at the time of his arrest, could face a penalty of up to 30 years in prison. Reporting for GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
The Royal Grenada Police Force and the Grenada Hotel and Tourism Association have announced a collaborative initiative to ensure Grenada continues to be a safe destination for tourists. We have more in this report.
This strategic partnership aims to enhance safety measures and promote open communication within the community to support the island's tourism industry. Vanny Cohen, Acting Commissioner of Police and the officer in charge of crimes, emphasized the significance of this collaboration.
We have been engaging with this entity because we're looking at shared responsibility, how we can work together collaboratively. They have an interest in what we do, and definitely we have an interest in what they do. You would appreciate that the purse string for the Hotel and Tourism Association stems from the fact that Grenada remains stable so that visitors can come. And so the need for us to work together collaboratively, looking at the sector, looking at the industry, and what we can do individually and collectively to bring the kind of stability that is needed to ensure that tourists can continue to come to our shores, that Grenada's economy can extend. And that was the whole hallmark of the discussion that we have had.
Both organizations recognize the success of Grenada's tourism industry relies heavily on the perception of safety by visitors. By working together, the RGPF and GHTA are taking proactive steps to create a welcoming and secure environment for tourists.
We shared with them some positive thoughts on security, how they can target harden the premises. We talk about lighting and profiling and quite a lot of issues that they should be interested in. At the end of the day, there must be shared responsibility for what happens. I keep calling not only last night or this morning, but every time you hear me, you'll always hear me say security must be shared responsibility. It cannot be the work of the RGPF only. It has to be every Canadian, all hands on deck, cumulatively as a nation, being able to fight the scourge of what we're seeing.
Cohen also highlighted the importance of fostering open dialogue within the community.
Law enforcement is useless without your community. You're not policing yourself, you're policing people for people. And so their voices, their input must be taken on board. And so we have extended our outreach, so much so that we have now instituted a community policing officer whose job it is to go out and make that connection with different sectors, different interest groups in Grenada to ensure that we can partner with them. We cannot be everywhere every time, and so we depend on the ears and eyes of our community. Trust is important, and so whatever trust might have been lost, we are rebuilding those processes, and so there has to be frank, open conversation.
The initiative involves several key measures aimed at bolstering safety and security across the island. The GHTA is equally committed to the joint effort. By providing resources and support, the authority aims to ensure that all stakeholders in the tourism sector are well prepared to contribute to the safety initiative. Through ongoing engagement and cooperation, the RGPF and GHTA are committed to ensuring that Grenada remains a safe haven for tourists and residents alike. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Well, in a bid to preserve all forms of culture on the Sister Isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique, plans are afoot to construct a cultural center in the heart of Hillsborough soon. According to Minister for Carriacou and Petite Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Tevin Andrews, with the help of the National Lotteries Authority and others in the corporate community, a great deal of financial support has been given over the past 2 years towards the preservation of culture. He spoke about the foundational work that has been undertaken so far.
We have plans to build a cultural center. The drawings are somewhat complete. The location of it will be at the present Hillsborough Community Center. We'll destroy it, we'll demolish the community center and build a proper cultural center for the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. After all, we are the culture of cradle, or the cradle of culture.
Yeah.
And we need to do all that we can to preserve and enhance the culture. So we are preserving our cultural heritage by investing a lot, along with Grenada Lotteries Authority. We're investing a lot of money, having people who have an idea in terms of how to do it, pass on those knowledge and those skills to the younger generation.
Minister Andrews said the aim is to transform the Sister Isles into a tourist hub where all aspects of culture can be found.
So there's a couple of things we're doing in Carriacou. One, making the prime tourism destinations, and now we also have a consultant that in the history, first time in the history of Carriacou, we have a consultant from Grenada Tourism Authority's standpoint from Carriacou that is working on assisting in marketing Carriacou and Petit-Martinique. The thing that we want to do is to make Carriacou a hub for within the marine, make it a marine hub.
Yeah.
So whether you have a marine school, that teaches you everything, as it relates to the boat building, teaching you,
everything within the blue economy.
Well, everything within the in that area.
Yeah.
Children take the spotlight in this evening's GBN ISAW. Stay with us.
Tonight's ISAW features the creativity of the students at the Westmoreland School Science Club as they used Play-Doh to create a model of the Earth and its layers. The structure of the Earth is divided into 4 major components: the crust, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. Kudos to the students for their excellent replica of the Earth and its layers. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Yard. Use a broom instead of a hose. Save water.
This awareness initiative is part of activities under the Climate Resilient Water sector in Grenada. The project is funded by the Green Climate Fund, the German government, and the government of Grenada.
It's the event you won't want to miss. GIDC Business Deals Day on Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Frequente Industrial Park playing field. Explore the latest products and service offerings from businesses within the industrial parks. Enjoy discounts on GIDC business support services and get fantastic deals on household items, building materials, accessories, condiments, and more with exciting prizes up for grabs throughout the day. But that's not all. Dive into a mini health fair and career expo for valuable health education and employment opportunities. It will be a fun-filled day with eats, drinks, games, deals, and more. Mark your calendars and join the GIDC at Frequente Industrial Park playing field on Saturday, July 13th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. See you there.
With the biggest blowout sale from Sisson's Paints. Get 30% on Sisson's Text Coat, Berger Weatherproof, and Easy Clean paints, all sizes. Your Weather Warrior, paint to protect. Ensure your home is season ready and beautiful. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Head to the Color Shop or any Sisson's hardware partner nationwide and save 30% now. Shop now and get a free plastic float with every Sisson's Text Coat purchase and a free Paint Sensations paint with every 1 gallon purchase of Berger Weatherproof or Sisson's Easy Clean. Sale ends soon.
Miss Faithlin's family drama continues with I Do by Urias Peters at Labucan Creative Center, Saturdays at 8 p.m., Sundays at 6 p.m., June 8th to 30th.
Are you looking for a reliable, affordable, and customer-friendly pharmacy?
Look no further than Hills and Valley Pharmacy, the nation's leading healthcare products and services provider. We are committed to serving you at convenient locations. Find an extensive and affordable selection of prescription and over-the-counter drugs and medical supplies at Church Street, Hillsborough, Carriacou, Jubilee Street, Grenville, St. Andrew, near the bus terminal, and Halifax and Grenville Street, St. George. Our committed team is always available to offer valuable assistance for managing your health and wellness. Discover the additional benefits of our wholesale distribution on Halifax Street and our Medcare Center on Grenville Street, where we provide in-house physiotherapy, massage therapy, doctor consultations, and eye care services. Our commitment is to satisfy all your healthcare needs, including competitive prices, loyalty rewards, and special discounts for seniors. Contact us at 435-6904 and WhatsApp 535-4734. Choose Hills and Valley Pharmacy. Remember, your health is our business.
Served Grenada for decades. We are the #1 and largest electrical supplier.
Hi, welcome to Sunny Electrical. How may I help?
We offer electrical wire accessories, tools, and appliances for all residential, commercial, and industrial applications, which is what we are known for. And we expanded our products with new innovative ways to modernize your home. New homeowners will be captivated in our lighting showrooms.
Some more pendant lights here. These are very multifunctional because they can work for kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms.
We have a wide selection of lighting, ranging from indoor to outdoor and solar. We are also available for site visit services to assist you with selecting the perfect light for your forever home. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grenada and St. George. Sudden Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products. We hope to see you soon.
At Quartz Optical, 2 are better than 1. Be always ready for the occasions with a second pair of eyewear. Find your fit with a pair. Get 50% off on all men's frames and sunglasses, plus 30% off all other purchases. Ray-Ban, Armani, Converse, Vogue, and much more. Get that frame today. Shop with no cash and pay later. Plus, you can book your eye examination appointment online today on www.quartzoptical.com. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for Grenada to laugh again. Heritage Theatre presents Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024, Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, 23rd June at the Trade Center in Grandance, and on Sunday, 30th June at the Deluxe Cinema in Grenville. Showtime, 7 p.m. every time, featuring some of Grenada's best ambassadors of comedy. Robert White.
I will line up behind yellow for 9 elections straight. I changed all in time to lose the last election. Why? Because I'm always on the losing side.
Dillion Walters.
It's the McQueen I couldn't take. I don't tell them all they didn't know.
Kareem Alexis and other outstanding comedic performances, all coming to knock you off your seats with laughter. Get your tickets now. Bring out the entire family. Tickets are $60. It's time for Spice Laugh Comedy Bash 2024.
The place go flood with laughter.
right, good morning, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the conversation. And it's 16 minutes after 7 o'clock this morning. It's going to be an exciting conversation because I'm certain that you heard me on numerous occasions make reference to Pastor Josh Hector. He is a pastor. He is, yes, he is. And he's a man of many hats. He's my brother at the West Hall New Testament Church of God, a very great musician and so rounded individual. This morning he's here in his capacity as the Director of Mental Health and Substance Use, and he is also a part of the Working Committee on Cannabis. So this morning we are here to have that conversation. I know that there are a number of you that want to get some opportunities to ask questions to the professionals. Well, he is here this morning. Unfortunately, Dr. Sean Charles couldn't be here with him this morning, but he's more than able to, handle some of the concerns that you have. Good morning, Brother Josh, Pastor Josh, Director Josh, everything.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing well myself.
It's a pleasure to see you in person this morning.
Pleasure to see you as well.
Yes.
After all these years, eh?
Yeah. You make it so. Okay. You could take the opportunity and say good morning to the congregation.
Congregation.
Of course. Yeah. Can you the first family?
Good morning to my West Hall family.
The first family.
The first family
first. The shepherd of the flock.
Right.
And
then the public.
Yeah, of course. Good. Lovely. Yeah. All right. Down to business now. I had on today's Thursday. On Tuesday, I had with me two other members of your working committee.
Right.
Assistant Commissioner of Police Vanny Corwin and Attorney Anselm Clouden. And of course, the message that they're trying to get across, they're trying to. Well, you all are tasked with the responsibility of getting the population's input into informing the Parliament as to certain legislations that should be passed as it relates to the decriminalization of cannabis.
Right. Now, it's important for me to insert a disclaimer. One that I would have even shared with the other members of the commission. Because as you'd imagine, given my role as Director of Mental Health and Substance Use, when I was presented with the opportunity to serve on this commission, I felt a bit conflicted.
Yes.
Because I was wondering to myself, how would these two roles coincide? All right? But after further examination of what the commission was all about, I recognized that it comprised of varied experts in their own right who were tasked to gather data and present facts on the issue, which, given my role as Director of Mental Health and Substance Use, I did recognize that it would be better for me to participate in the conversation.
Because in the back end, it comes to you.
It comes directly to me in the back end. Yes. And so I am here now this morning without reservation, really. I do want to remind the public that the commission is not comprised of decision makers, and the data that we present will simply inform the process. Assistant Commissioner Vanny Cohen was very explicit on that. He said, listen, we are just collecting the information and the people up there are going to make the decision. Right.
Okay, so in your involvement thus far, what is the vibe you're getting on the ground? Because you all must have been, trying to collect and collate information from the population to an extent.
Well, really and truly, it's the interview you had here with Minister Clouden and ACP Vanny. This was really the second public engagement.
Okay.
So of course, information has been gathered to a degree, not extensively yet, but added to the feedback from the public, we also have a responsibility to consider the science.
Right.
We have a responsibility to consider the known benefits and also the adverse implications of cannabis use.
So let's let the public know the benefits. What are some of the benefits of cannabis use?
Well, what I would do firstly is point to the therapeutic or medicinal benefits. I would not weigh in too heavily on the medicinal benefits because we are careful on the commission to
don't overstep.
We not overstep.
Yeah, that's Dr. Charles'
that is
rule.
Dr. Charles. That's his rule.
Yes.
Even though I will give just a tidbit on the medicinal benefits because they also apply. They're related to the therapeutic benefits as well. CBD, you must have heard about CBD, which is cannabidiol, one of the main components of the plant, the cannabis plant, formerly known as cannabis sativa. And this component is known to have anti-inflammatory capabilities. It is also known to reduce pain. Also
CBD,
yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Also known to provide some neurological protection, in particularly in disorders such as neurological disorders such as epilepsy. CBD has a very good track record in reducing seizures, even in instances where anti-seizure medications have been proven unsuccessful. CBD actually can do that. CBD also, on the therapeutic side, it has also been known to effectively treat depression and anxiety, and this is well researched. As a matter of fact, it also, and here's something that's very interesting, because we will jump to another well-known component, which CBD is useful in treating the adverse effects of the THC. So what that means is that cannabis is a double-edged sword in a sense, because CBD does have a bunch of medicinal and therapeutic properties that we know of. It also, it also treats the adverse effects of THC.
THC rather. Yeah. Wow.
And when you look at it, for example, CBD treatment, there's something called chronic CBD treatment, where people may receive 200 milligrams a day for 10 weeks. Once I say 200 milligrams a day for 10 weeks, you can appreciate now that I'm speaking of diagnosis and prescription, which is happening in a very controlled environment. I have not yet said anything about smoking.
Okay, this is tricky now, because for many people, it is believed that the only method of use for cannabis is smoking, and in some cases boiling. I mean, I'm asthmatic as a little boy growing up. As a matter of fact, not even when I was a little boy, when I was teaching in Paraclete, I remembered a Rasta man up there, when he realized how bad my asthma was taking me, he would ever so often bring marijuana roots for me to boil and drink.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and did it help?
Yes.
Right.
It did.
Mm-hmm. So, really and truly, smoking is the worst way to use cannabis. As a matter of fact, smoking is something that's downright bad for us.
Yeah.
In any case, when you are walking around and for some reason there's a fire lit and you start inhaling the smoke, what do?
Yeah, you bury your nose.
Bury your nose. Why?
Automatically.
Because your lungs, it irritates your lungs. Your lungs were not designed to intake.
To deal with combustion.
Right? That's a fact, which is why the first time people smoke, they cough.
Yes.
Right? And they have to train their bodies to get used to that. But I don't want to weigh in too heavy on that. THC, or Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol, is the compound found in cannabis that produces the intoxicating high.
Okay.
That's where the high comes from.
Okay.
And one of my good colleagues in his research, Dr. Niels Chaitans, he identifies that this is the most demotivating component of cannabis.
Okay.
Why? Because the mental impact is so significant that we do know that it, and I will present some data in a minute. Local data this time.
Right.
We do know that THC can cause acute psychosis or the onset of mental disorders, particularly where people are predisposed. And what do I mean predisposed? If a person has a family member who suffers from mental illness, it means that genetically they are already predisposed to mental illness. Should they use marijuana, should they smoke marijuana, which has that intoxicating effect and alters
judgment and everything.
Not just the judgment, it alters the mind. They can actually find themselves suffering from an acute episode, or they can actually end up being diagnosed with a mental disorder.
So I mean, I'm gonna put you on the spot here now, because people, I know members of the audience, the listening and viewing audience out there, what you call feeling in the sleeps. All right, and if cannabis or marijuana is dealt with in a controlled way, could it be the legalization of it? Not legalization, but the decriminalization of it?
Well,
on the society?
It would require checks and balances, without a doubt, because I haven't even touched on the youthful population yet, who are most at risk to the adverse effects of THC. We look at when we consider the youth, particularly those now who are grappling with what I would call pre-existing barriers. So you look at the psychosocial determinants of mental health, factors such as quality of life, education, support system, etc. If there are deficiencies in those areas, they can already have a negative impact on teenagers, young adults who are in school trying to focus. They could already have challenges with their attention. Should they introduce now, and let me say that some of those factors, they did not show up by choice, all right? Should they then choose to introduce marijuana to the equation, what they will find is that it is instantly gratifying. And that's how the chemical side of it operates. It works on the brain, and the high causes a person to feel spectacular, and the stress of life
subsides for a while.
Subsides for a while.
Yeah.
When they come off that high and they notice those stressors are still there, then
they plunge deeper.
They go back to use the cannabis, and eventually we do know for a fact addiction is possible, because I've interacted with enough young men who want to stop and they're struggling to do so.
Okay, all right.
But also their ability to focus during those productive years would be impaired based on the introduction of cannabis at that time, which is why the youth need to be protected.
So is there a safe time in someone's developmental life that it's safer to use cannabis? I think there's one school of thought that says because the brain is still developing up to 25 years old.
Yeah.
So is there a safer time in which to use cannabis? And we're talking by the methodology of smoking?
Well, that's a funny question, isn't it? Because I don't know if there's a safe time to smoke at all, but
from someone's neurological development
from that perspective, we do know that before 21, at least, at minimum, and that is still a compromise. But at least this is the age, 2021, the age where people would have, for example, and let's speak to our society now, moving past TAM-CC, which is the first contact with tertiary education. It's important for them to at least get up to that point without having their concentration, their memory, and their focus impaired. So at least they could lay a foundation, or they could participate in laying the foundation for a successful future.
Okay. So in essence, the bottom line is, I know it might be putting you on the spot, all right, because you're on the committee, as you say, you're placed on both sides of a two-edged sword. Is it going to be a beneficial thing for the country with the decriminalization of the cannabis?
Well, again, we do have slated decriminalization for medicinal purposes.
Okay.
And once you say that, of course,
right,
medicine is always a good thing.
Yes.
Because of the value. But here's what we know. Some people call cannabis the healing of the nation.
Yeah.
Which of us needs to be healed, and which of us are sick requiring this medication? You understand? So for those who can benefit from the therapeutic and medicinal properties, of course, this is a benefit to them.
So would we, with that decriminalization, would we see in the medical sphere that doctors will now be able to diagnose a patient and realize, based on that complaint or ailment, recommend medicinal marijuana?
You see, I don't know if that is going to take place. Well, let me not say I don't know. It cannot take place readily with the stroke of a pen because of the structures that would have to be put in place to even govern that. When you think about quality control and all these things, to meet even international standards,
drug administration and everything like that,
right? It is possible to arrive there. However, we have to appreciate that it is going to take some work.
All right, so folks, tell you what we do. We take a quick commercial break. We've got to pay the bills. I'm speaking with I would call him Dr. Josh Hector. It's a bit premature, but yeah, he's Dr. Josh Hector to me, and he's a member of the Cannabis Working Committee as they look and gather the data to make that presentation to Parliament as it relates to passing that legislation to decriminalize the use of cannabis. We take a quick commercial break. When we come back, what I urge you to do in the meantime, put together some of your intelligent concerns as it relates to the topic, so that when we come back, we are going to entertain your calls and, like I said, intelligent concerns. All right, we'll be back after these messages.
Get ready, Grenada, for the 18th annual Hubbards Legends in Concert. Hubbards Legends in Concert, as we raise our hands and give thanks. On on Saturday, October 26, 2024, Thanksgiving weekend. Grenada Trade Center, 7:30 p.m. Hubbards, Legends in concert. Stay tuned to GBN for more.
From the fertile heart of Grenada to the far reaches of the globe, Rams Supermarket brings together the best of both worlds. Savor the freshest, locally sourced produce from our trusted Grenadian farmers and explore a curated selection of top-quality international favorites. Experience a shopping journey where warmth meets a world of flavors and affordability meets premium quality. At Rams, we welcome everyone to discover the joy of global and local culinary delights. Nestled in Sugar Mill, Grand Anse, we are open all week to offer you a taste of home and beyond. Rams Supermarket, where our family, community, and the world come together. We are the good food people.
Hello, ECS. Grenada is on a track to become a Caribbean trendsetter for waste management and recycling. We are establishing a recycling culture to rid our landfill, our country, of plastic waste. Under the OECS Recycle Pilot Project, residents and the business sector are being encouraged to see the potential in plastic. Every day, plastic bottles can be stored and prepared for collection and recycling. Plastic is not waste. There is investment opportunity in plastic recycling. Sustainable clean water, food safety, beautiful beaches, marine spaces, and a potential arena for investment for OECS entrepreneurs. Let's recycle and explore avenues to convert plastic into profit.
Recycle OECS. Green actions, blue oceans.
Washing the vehicle, use a bucket, not a hose. Save water.
This awareness initiative is part of activities under the Climate Resilient Water sector in Grenada. The project is funded by the Green Climate Fund, the German government, and the government of Grenada.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of. Well, focus.
Cricket, lovely cricket, as we bring you ball-by-ball commentaries of the T20 World Cup. The Cut and Drive Network, in association with this radio station, are pleased to be a part of the excitement. Join me, Andrew Mason, as I lead a team of top-class cricket commentators right through to the finals on June the 29th at the historic Kensington Oval. Cricket, lovely cricket, on this radio station. You got a date, so don't be late.
This moment is all that I've been dreaming of. Well, focus.
I am Audrey Jackson.
I'm Greg Jackson.
On February 19th at 4 a.m., a gun was used to take my son from me. You know him as Pop Smoke. We call him Shar. Because of gun violence, I'll never see my son run up the front of our steps, taking them two at a time. He won't ever take my hands again and dance with me. He won't come into my room and muscle pose in the mirror. Gun violence destroys families. It must stop.
Good morning once again. Welcome back to the conversation. This morning we're talking cannabis, and with me in the studio is Director Josh Hector. He is the Director of Mental Health and Substance Use at the Ministry of Health. That's one of the caps that he wears. You want to present some data to the public before we start accepting the call, so the public could have a fuller appreciation for what's really happening.
Okay, so I considered it beneficial to focus on local data because we have a lot of international data, which is good for comparison's sake. But the Grenada Drug Secretariat, they do such an amazing job of gathering data annually and presenting a report, and they've been doing this for years. And I would have gathered some data from them. What I've seen from 2018, and if you speak to the staff at Mount Gay, they could tell you that what I'm about to say is still the case.
Okay.
So in 2018, the main drug used by clients who sought treatment at Rathdown, which is the psychiatric unit or acute psychiatric unit at which is located at Mount Gay, is cannabis. 130
cases.
130 patients.
Wow.
82.2%. Alcohol was 25 patients. In the age they would have noted for admittance to the Carlton home, people were using before the age of 15 and between 15 to 19, which are those vulnerable years, which sets the tone.
They're still in the developmental stages.
In 2019, cannabis again with 89 patients. Just to condense it a bit, in 2020, cannabis again with 94 patients. And the concerning bit is that we would have seen that the usage began early in life at the pivoting point where they can either buckle down and prepare themselves, and I won't just say academically but vocationally as well, prepare themselves for a well-adjusted and successful future. But if they get distracted at that critical age, then it sets the tone. I want to say this also. It sets a negative precedent for their lives. What I want to say also is that yesterday I was leaving Grenville, and at around 11:30 a.m. in the morning, I stopped by a clinic, and I was greeted by Father Edward Mark, who is a psychiatric social worker.
Okay.
Right?
Father Merciful.
Right. And Father Mark said to me, boy, at 11:30 in the morning, we have already seen 94 patients, mental health patients. One of the implications that we must consider, and it would be irresponsible of me not to say so, is that the mental health system, this even the staff, they're already overworked, right?
Okay.
They're already bursting at the seams to a degree, because there are so many cases to deal with. There are so many needs in society. We must consider that the additional availability of cannabis,
or accessibility.
Accessibility. That's the word.
Yes, accessibility
can potentially cause additional strain because of the negative impact or the adverse effects of THC on mental health, and such people end up needing psychiatric care. So essentially, no, we would then have to ensure that there's space to accommodate the potential fallout
from the easy access.
And I I must say this. It is important for me to say, because I have seen, even at the micro level, I've seen enough young men who are struggling. I've seen enough young men who have dropped out of school. Marijuana tends to be the common denominator because it causes them to momentarily forget their struggles, and so they're going back to it until they become dependent. No, when they become tolerant, it means that the one spliff they smoked initially does not do the trick.
Yeah, they have to go more.
They have to go more, and then they complain that they do not have money.
And that's where the multiplier effects start coming into effect, because you're drop out of school, you're not working, you have that habit, and you have to support that habit, so then it leads you to find it.
You know, I've helped enough young men who, having reduced their use, they start feeling good about themselves, and because they have money and they have a sense of purpose, and they're a bit more focused at that point.
Okay, a critical question I want to ask you, because in your deliberation you spoke about young men. Are you seeing young women in that fray as well?
Well, yeah, young women, yes, but young men really are the main users and abusers.
Okay.
Even though some young women do, it's incomparable.
Okay. All right, folks, this is where we would accept your calls. The number to call is 435-2041. Someone says most persons are talking about the money we would make, but there is a social cost. Just look at Jamaica and Trinidad. We would see this increase in violence as men growing would be armed to protect the crops. I have growing the crops. All right. I have witnessed this in Trinidad. I fear for Grenada and this decriminalization and its social impact. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Oh, a pleasant good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I have been listening very carefully. Yes, there are a lot of...
Caller, pause for a second. We have a problem. You have an apparatus in the back that is too loud. Whether it's your radio or your TV, you need to turn it down because it's giving us a serious reverb.
All right. Is it all right now?
It's a little better, yes.
Yes, with all the good, let me put it that way, that can be derived from cannabis. I am not in favor of decriminalizing it. For one, because there are loopholes whereby other people can, or people in general, or users of it, can plant the herb secretly, and you still have the same problem that you're having. I mean, there's quite a lot of good that I've been hearing, eyesight and all the others. I don't want to go into that. But I am seeing that. I don't know if the doctor is seeing that or you, my announcer, is seeing the same thing. But somewhere along the lines, I think that this is helping the thing to come out in an illegal way. I don't know what you are experts. I don't know what I mean you have to say, but that is how I'm seeing it. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
I mean, concern appreciated, and what I really have been doing, most subjectively, for the past, I don't know, however long, is ensuring that I make mention of the potential adverse implications.
Okay.
Right? Point taken, caller.
Okay. All right, folks, let me just see. People are sending in their concerns. I am happy to hear the specialist on your program. What a revelation, and this is what the youth are resorting to. It's what we as teachers are seeing in the classroom. All right. So, in your traversing around and in that portfolio that you have, you must be interacting with the education system as well. Do we have a problem with students, even in the primary school level, getting involved in the use of cannabis?
Well, I have encountered a few instances where even students who are in the preteen years have begun to use cannabis, and that is directly related to the irresponsible actions of parents or guardians. Whether they would have actually passed it on to them, or whether they would have been a bit laissez-faire in observing the children, although that is not where we see most of the usage beginning. It is in the middle of the teenage years to later teenage, young adulthood.
Okay, we have a caller on the line. It's time for us to say good morning, caller.
Good morning to the doctor.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I didn't hear you spoke about when you ingest the marijuana with fudge or in food. What is the effect on the body? How long the effect would stay on the body?
Okay,
right.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah, and that's a good question. As much as I was saying that smoking is the most demotivating way to use, according to my colleague Dr. Chaitans. The fudge or the brownie is extremely dangerous. As a matter of fact,
is it as dangerous as the smoking of it?
In its own merit, a bit more.
Okay.
Because of how potent the THC becomes in that form, we have seen a number of immediate psychotic breaks. Okay. Which in some instances could last a few days.
So in essence, smoking it is dangerous, but using it in the browning or fudge is even more dangerous.
I mean,
is it more addictive that way?
But actually, no, it's not. It's not more addictive that way. It is the type of thing that, for example, would impact you so terribly that chances are you wouldn't do it again.
Okay. All right. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller there. 435-2041. That's the number to call. Let's try again. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Innocent, and also Mr. Hector.
Welcome to the program.
Yeah. I think what is needed is for us to seek to understand before rushing to judgment, and that has been our problem as a people. We need to put aside whatever biases we have evolved into and try to see the bigger picture. And I think the commission is trying to do. And in a way, we need to lead them to do the work without, making judgment at this stage. When they give the finding, and when maybe there were a consultation, then if we have apprehension or misgiving, then we could add that. But let me say here, in terms of being holistic, we tend to dismiss aspects of our living that would have contributed to the current situation that we are in. For instance, one of the things that people don't talk about is the psychological warfare that was unleashed on Grenada after 1983. And I think it goes away just like that. It's like the effect on slavery. On us. So unless we take a holistic view and see even the structural adjustment program, all of these adds up. We had problem in schools lately in the last few years with the structural situation, even when sports affecting sports, all of these adds up. So if you have people being affected, and then the breakdown of community and all that thing, and I'll end here. There was a criticism of the revolution that it was taking people away from God and that kind of thing like that. So-called democracy was restored. But look, the churches are struggling to have consistent attendance by people. Did that cause people to go into the church? I'm saying sometimes we have to really look things square in the face and deep and be realistic, rather than be emotional and reactive. Thank you.
I don't see the tie-in with the you see the tie-in to the marijuana conversation?
Well, I think initially the caller was speaking about paying attention to our biases, and perhaps I did mention this earlier, that this is really not a clash of opinions, really.
Right, yeah.
Because we could do that for years. But once we begin to present the facts, so that if there are benefits that can be derived in this way with these controls, that's one thing we have to pay attention to. We also have to responsibly consider what are the adverse implications. And again, the Commission is not responsible for making a decision, but presenting facts.
Okay. We have another caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
I'm someone who is a proponent of the decriminalization of the cannabis. I think it's something that government, the Grenada government could it's a revenue stream that they could tap into. That's something that we could earn a lot of revenue from. However, though, the committee, because the second time listening to that, and they like to take themselves away from the decision, which is true, because that is done in cabinet or whatever. But the information that you gather and the presentation that you make will change the decision of a lot of persons in the cabinet that would allow them to go positive as opposed to negative. So don't take yourself away from it. We know that you're not the decision-making body, but you are part and parcel of the whole process. Without you, the decision would not be made in the first case. So you all need to own up your role in the process, But I am a proponent. I'm only concerned about what happens with the fall-off now, because a lot of persons will take that on, and the psychosis break that we see now, that might triple or even as much as quadruple now. So I'm hoping that we have the structures in place to take care of those things now.
Thank you very much, caller. That was well said. Couldn't have been said better.
But I think he just reiterated one of the things that I have said before.
Okay.
Concerning, what, and we're saying potential. I'm because none of us are sitting saying X or Y will undoubtedly happen, but we have to consider the potentials, which are highly likely.
Someone says here that the marijuana industry in Canada was found to not match the government's tax benefits. The industry has not reaped the returns in mass profit from tax. The win was in not criminalizing people and filling the courts with non-violent offenders that then were lumped into the criminal world. In Canada, the crime has gone down due to the fact a large amount of the crime statistics are based on the amount of people in prison and not why they are in prison. 18 is a good age, but remember not to criminalize those youth who refuse to go along with the law, but do as Canada has. The world has a problem with dangerous drugs. Do not lump them into the same category. If you have never been a consumer of marijuana, then you cannot call yourself an expert. Marijuana opinion is a personal outlook. People under 18 should be prevented from its use. Stop imprisoning people for it, and in the end you can grow it at home and there is no real tax benefit. We're out of time. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you 30 seconds to wrap up. But as I told Attorney Clouden and ACP Vanny Corwin, this platform is always available just because we need to have that conversation. We want people to participate in the conversation. But in this dispensation, we're out of time. So I'll give you 30 seconds to wrap up. We have to join the BBC.
Well,
is there anything pertinent that we missed?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so we can wrap.
Just historically, we do know that all the research would have been focused on the adverse effects. Now there's a greater appreciation for benefits that can be derived. However, we must ensure that should we go in that direction, we have to implement controls that would guard us against, and I could say this quite literally, burning our own house down, because this has to be handled very delicately.
Okay, there's a very thin line, very, very thin line. Director Josh Hector, thank you for joining us this morning. And as I said, this platform is open, and because it's a conversation that we need to have. We really need to have that conversation so that the general populace can have a full appreciation, so that they themselves can make that determination. Should we decriminalize or should we not? Because in the end, the decision will be dependent on the information that is gathered from.
And of course, public opinion is critical.
Yes.
So, which is why there will be a survey to understand what the public's view is.
Okay.
So it's important for people to understand that they're involved as well.
Yeah. So the more we engage them, it's the better. Smoking the cannabis is wrong, my opinion. Folks, this is it. We've got to go. We've got to wrap up. We've got to join the BBC, which is already in progress. Thank you once again, Brother Hector, and in his capacity as the Director of Mental Health and Substance Use. We've got to go. Thank you very much for those of you who participated, called, and contributed in one way or the other. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.